to Two Sweet Wrestling Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you think I would forget about Bound for Glory? No, not a chance. Because this is episode 37 of the Two Sweet Wrestling Podcast. It is the Bound for Glory 2018 podcast. It is the Bound for Glory 2018 preview. About to jump into all of it, all of the storylines, all of the talk. We have breakdowns of things that I haven't even gotten into as it pertains to Impact Wrestling yet, as it pertains to Bound for Glory. Possible spoilers, I'll let you know. I'll put the timestamps if you don't want to know that. Just look at the timestamps on YouTube, look at the timestamps wherever I post this. We're on Periscope. You can find me on Periscope at 2SweetPod. You can find me on YouTube at OMG space Corey space B. There I am. You can find me there. And also, this will be cast on Castbox as well. You can find me on there at Two Sweet Wrestling Podcast. So we're about to hop right on into this. Ladies and gentlemen, 2018 Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory. Check out my video also why Bound for Glory is huge for Impact Wrestling this year. I'll pop that up and on YouTube, excuse me. So we're about to hop right on into this. First, we're going to start off with Austin Aries and Johnny Impact. They had quite the back and forth on Twitter. We got a couple of news stories to get into before we get into the preview. So, I didn't even address this. You know, I'm always on Impact News. I'm saving it for the Bound for Glory podcast, the Bound for Glory preview. So, John Impact, he has so many last names. I forget which one it is at times, whether he's on Lucha Underground or Impact. And Austin Aries had quite the back and forth that got people stirred up. And, you know, I like context. So I'm about to hop right on into the context. John Morrison, I see, there it is. I forget his last name. Johnny Impact made a short joke against Austin Aries, harmless joke, but, you know, in 2018, there's a lot of things that you can't say, and asked for the fact that led up to Austin Aries, a lot of things that he can't say as well. So Austin Aries responded. He said, the form of discrimination that's still super cool, short shaming. If I joked race retards your look, if I fan shamed your husky wife, instant outrage in bold and caps. But you can predictably cut me over my height, genetics that I don't control, and it's just funny. So we have a couple of things at stake here, a couple of questions at stake here, and Austin Aries would go on to later try to clarify the tweet, saying that he doesn't condone any of that. He was just making a point, to which, I mean, once it's out there, you can't just try to walk it back. It's out there now. You know, the tweet was later deleted. So there are two questions at play here. Was it a work or was it for real? And there are a lot of people getting worked up here, and they're thinking it's a shoot. And a lot of people got worked up. And look, this is a bona fide work. Look, I'm not on the inside. I'm not next to Johnny Impact. There I go again. Those last names, he needs to just find one and stick with it. I'm not next to Johnny Impact. I'm not next to Austin Aries when they're tweeting these things. But look, obviously they got together and said that, you know, we're going to go here, or we're going to go there, we're going to make some build for Bound for Glory. Now, I don't have anything against that. In 2018, I think that wrestlers should go more towards that. Obviously, the heels, in my opinion, should go towards that and really work some things up, really get some storylines going through social media. I have no problems with it whatsoever. However, the next question is, did Austin Aries go too far? Yes, he went too far. I just made the point that in 2018, there are just certain things that you can't say. There are certain buzzwords, I get my breath together, that you just can't say, and Austin Aries said quite a few of them. And it got the wrestling Twitter outraged. It was that night I was watching it, and I was debating whether or not I was going to stay up for this WWE Super Showdown pay-per-view, which started at a ridiculous 4 a.m. And that was the night that it was all going down. People were outraged. People were going back and forth with it, as we always do on wrestling Twitter. I just sit away as far as wrestling to the drama as possible. That's just for me. But they were going back and forth with it. A lot of people were upset. And Austin Aries, yes, he did go too far. You can't bring the wife into it. Now, for all I know, they could all be in on it together. Who knows? I know for a fact that, just from my wrestling intuition, that they were in on some of it. But my wrestling intuition says that Austin Aries just took it a wee bit too far. And there's no need to bring Taya into this whatsoever. So yes, he did go too far in this one. It did, however, create a buzz for the match. I mean, he didn't have to go that far, but I like the idea that they had. It's just that it went too far for my taste. So moving on, we have possible spoilers here. I will talk about the timestamps, and I will post the timestamps down below wherever you're watching this. Either on Periscope, if you're going to watch the replay, or you're watching on YouTube right now, the timestamps will be posted down below on the possible spoilers. So, quite the interesting thing happened. Joe Pasek of the Bomb Burner podcast, and this is a possible spoiler, so I'm letting you know right now, said that Chris Jericho will be at Bound for Glory. He's tentatively slated to be at Bound for Glory. He doesn't know at what type of match or what type of segment, but he said that he will be at Bound for Glory. So I find this very interesting. The talk has been slating up and has been going for what feels like months now. Especially if you look at my YouTube page, I've been talking about the reports, for quite some time now, for a long time. And it is very interesting because usually where there's a lot of smoke, there's fire. And there's a ton of smoke on this Chris Jericho thing, and I'm very excited about it. My question is, if Chris Jericho is showing up, in what capacity will he be showing up? Because obviously, I've been hearing these rumors, and obviously, I've been looking at the card, and I've been thinking, okay, where in the card does he fit? Alright, he could have fit with Rich Swann, but Rich Swann's partner has already been revealed to be Willie Mack. I'm going to get into that match. I'm very excited for that pairing. He could have fit in the Eli Drake Open Challenge, but Eli Drake said that the person had to be from New York, so I'm thinking that we're going to get a New Yorker to get in that challenge. I'll give my thoughts on my early guess as to who it may be. So, it's interesting because those were the two prime spots to where you think that, okay, if Chris Jericho is going to wrestle a match at Bound for Glory, it's going to be there. So, it's going to be interesting because I'm interested to see how they work Chris Jericho into the proceedings, if he's at the proceedings at all. Maybe these are just rumors we're all going to find out this Sunday. Also, another person slated to be at Bound for Glory, at least according to him, Juventud Guerrera, is saying that he's going to appear at Bound for Glory. I think that was on his Instagram. He said that he would be at Bound for Glory, and we'll see how that all turns out. Now, normally, there are a couple of matches that are announced, like right before the pay-per-view, probably that Saturday. They would be announced. I think they had that at Slammiversary as well, a couple of late additions. And I expect a couple of late additions to Bound for Glory as well, either that Saturday or that Sunday morning. We'll see how it all turns out. So, we're going to look at the most anticipated match, at least as it pertains to my opinion. And the most anticipated match, in my opinion, is the OVE Rules match. And we're going to jump right on into the review. So, most anticipated match is the OVE Rules match. Pentagon Jr. Phoenix and Brian Cage versus OVE. This is going to be a bananas match. Look, every time Pentagon and Phoenix gets involved with OVE, it is a near classic. And I expect a near classic here. Brian Cage, Pentagon Jr. Phoenix. This is just going to be it could be the match of the night. I think, in my opinion, it is going to be the match of the night. Brian Cage has had some phenomenal matches involving OVE as well. So, I think it's going to be a tornado style. Eventually, it's going to break down into a tornado tag. No matter what the rules are, like no rules whatsoever. I don't know if it's going to be a tag or a tornado tag. We'll see. So I'm very much looking forward to the match, and it's going to be a bananas match. I'm kind of disappointed that the X Division Championship won't be on the line, because I really think that that's a title. It's the biggest pay-per-view of the year. I really think that the X Division title should be defended, but Brian Cage is in this match. I'm looking forward to this trios match. And as for the winner, this is a tough one. But as for the winner, Brian Cage, Pentagon Jr., and Phoenix will be your winner in this match. And I'm very much looking forward to it. I think it's going to be the match of the night. We're going to be in for a treat, baby. It may open the show. We'll see. So, next up, we have the tag team match. Matt Sydal and Ethan Page versus Rich Swann and Willie Mack. Ethan Page made his debut last week. And we're coming off of a Impact Twitch built for Bound for Glory. Had some phenomenal matches, and I'm excited. We got billed last week with Ethan Page interfered in the Matt Sydal and Rich Swann match. He made his debut, and it's on. It was supposed to be Rich Swann and the mystery partner, but that mystery partner has been revealed. It is Willie Mack, and that is a fantastic reveal. Willie Mack, if you don't keep up with him in Lucha Underground, he was at Lucha versus Impact at that pay-per-view, at that get-together, at that event, and Willie Mack is a phenomenal athlete. Real big guy, and one of those new age big guys that can move around like a cruiserweight, that does cruiserweight things. So I'm excited for his addition to this match. This is the X Division fly around match, spot after spot match, in my opinion. And this is another candidate to open the show, to get the crowd excited, to get the crowd bumping, to get the crowd jumping. So, at the end of the day, I expect a fantastic matchup. Ethan Page, Matt Sydal versus Rich Swann and Willie Mack. Rich Swann is through with Matt Sydal's third eye bullcrap, in his words. So, at the end of the day, as for your winners, Rich Swann and Willie Mack will pick up the victory. I expect a phenomenal match. If they give them time, they're gonna set the house on fire. They're gonna set New York on fire. I'm very much looking forward toward it. So next up, we have Moose versus Eddie Edwards, and you'd think that this would be a stipulated match, but I guess they looked at the card and they figured that we have enough stipulations on matches as well as it goes right now. If I think back to Slammiversary, I think Slammiversary had a ton of stipulations, so I think that they didn't want to repeat that here. So we just have a straight up singles match, Moose versus Eddie Edwards, and I mean, look, they can get it done. We have Moose turning his back on Eddie Edwards, turning his back on his best friend, and he's aligned with Killer Kross and Austin Aries. I really think that they need a name here, and it's just three guys going around. Three guys is officially a stable. They really need a name. But Moose versus Eddie Edwards, I really thought that Bound for Glory was the pay-per-view in which we would see Eddie Edwards hold up the title, win the title, and the crazy Eddie Edwards would close with the title. And it's quite interesting because I do see a world championship in Eddie Edwards' future, but it's not going to be at Bound for Glory. I think this match is just fine. I've liked the build. Eddie Edwards has really gotten at Moose. Moose has gotten at Eddie Edwards. He captured Alicia. That was a phenomenal segment, and I'm looking forward to this match. Eddie Edwards and Moose has great chemistry. Eddie Edwards is the type of wrestler that has phenomenal chemistry with the bigger guys. If you think back to Eddie Edwards and Lashley, phenomenal chemistry. that those guys had. Eddie Edwards and Moose has phenomenal chemistry as well. I expect a classic. Look, this match is just filled with phenomenal matches. Excuse me, this pay-per-view is filled with phenomenal matches. I expect a phenomenal match here. At the end of the day, who gets the win here? This is a hard one. I'm going to go with the revenge narrative. Moose turned his back on Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards will get his revenge at Bound for Glory. Eddie Edwards picks up the victory at Bound for Glory. So, we move on to the Concrete Jungle Street Fight. And it will be LAX and Conan versus the OGs and King. And this will be a all-out bananas. Just get the tables, get the chairs, get everything. Just pull out everything from under the ring. Pull out the Drano. You remember the Drano from Slammiversary? I thought that was ridiculously crazy. I was like, I saw it and I was like, Drano? Like, what else are they going to pull out in this match? It's the question. Look, we're going to have Conan in this match. I think they're going to keep Conan's participation to a minimum. We're going to have weapons in this match. He's going to be able to walk around with the weapons, do damage. The crowd is going to pop for Conan. We know that. King, we're going to keep his participation to a minimum, I would guess, with Conan. The workhorses of the match is going to be LAX and the OGs. I'm very much sure that this will be a trios match. There will be a tornado tag. We're just going to have action sprawled out everywhere. I hope it's one of those scenarios to where we get separate amounts of action. I know there are people that don't like this, but I hope it's one of those cases to where we get the guys to go out in the crowd and just two guys here, two guys there, two guys over there, and just action sprawled everywhere. It will be a phenomenal match, and I'm very much looking forward to the weapons that they pull out in this match. As for your winners, this is the match to where LAX gets the win. I knew that this match would be coming. I've said for months that this would lead up to a match at Bound for Glory to where LAX would get the victory, and LAX and Conan will get the victory. They will vanquish the OGs. And this is very important because I think that this could be a phenomenal match to where it leaves both tag teams looking good, and both tag teams can move on to separate feuds as they both look good. And I expect a phenomenal match here. Both guys will come off looking forward and looking good, but LAX will get the victory, and it'll be interesting to see how Conan gets involved in this match. So moving on, we have the Knockouts title on the line. Tessa Blanchard versus Taya Valkyrie. And I gotta say that I'm not a fan of how they built towards this matchup. And I'm not a fan of Taya just strolling in and just getting the title shot. Like, I like to have my people earn, or have my wrestlers earn their way to the titles. And it's just like Taya kind of just strode in, asked for a title shot, she got it. But looking at the match, this is going to be a phenomenal match. There are so many matches, and this was the case at Slammiversary, and that created arguably the greatest pay-per-view, the greatest North American pay-per-view of the year. And it was the case to where you look at nearly every match and say, okay, this could be the match of the night. And I'm looking at every match, I'm scrolling through every match, and I'm seeing that nearly every match could be the match of the night. And Taya Valkyrie versus the Walking Mean Streak, the current Knockouts champion, Tessa Blanchard, this could be a match of the night. I'm very much looking forward to it. There's no stipulation on it, just the title on the line, woman versus woman. May the best woman win. And I think this is going to be a phenomenal match. I think that we're looking at two fantastic workers here. And I think they're going to, just so long as they give them time, to which I'm pretty sure Impact is going to give them time. Slammiversary was all about the matches, not about the BS. And I expect that for Bound for Glory. It's going to be all about the matches. So Tessa Blanchard and Taya Valkyrie is going to get phenomenal time. And they are going to put on a phenomenal match. I'm very much looking forward to it. At the end of the day, I know we want to have this moment where Johnny Impact and Tessa Blanchard ride off into the sunset with both belts, but look, it's not time yet for that title to come off of Tessa Blanchard. So with that being said, and still your champion, Tessa Blanchard will win this match, will retain. So, moving on, we have the Eli Drake Open Challenge for Bound for Glory. This is quite interesting because you look at this match and you say that, okay, this might be the spot for Chris Jericho to come in. And obviously on the latest edition of Impact Wrestling, Eli Drake said that it had to be a New Yorker for him to do the Open Challenge. So he's challenging a New Yorker. So I found that quite interesting. So obviously you'd think that it wouldn't be Chris Jericho. So a New Yorker. My guess is that it's going to be Bully Ray that accepts the challenge from Eli Drake. That would pop the crowd. And it'll be interesting because for quite some time now I've been saying that they need to do something with Eli Drake outside of this. This Open Challenge needs to lead to something. And it looks like it's leading to Bound for Glory, and hopefully it's something big. Hopefully it's something that pops the crowd. Whoever comes out, I hope it's a big name. Whoever it is that comes out, my prediction is that that person will get the dub over Eli Drake and they will win. So moving on to the main event of Bound for Glory, Johnny Impact versus Austin Aries. And we have quite the match on our hands, ladies and gents. This, like I've been saying the whole preview, possible match of the night right here. Possible show, well, it can't fall into the range of show stealer because it is the show. But possible match of the night here. I've loved the build to this match. Everything from the initial reaction. I didn't like how Johnny Impact got the title shot. Like I said, I like for people to earn their way into the titles, into title shots. Johnny Impact just got the shot out of nowhere. I didn't like that, but everything since then, I've loved. I like that they beat down Johnny Impact. The three guys are walking around as a stable with no name. I loved it. I liked how Austin Aries got into Johnny Impact's face and cut him down in that back and forth promo that they had. I even like like I said, the personal nature of the Twitter exchange. I like that. I just think that Austin Aries went too far, but I liked it. As for the match overall, this should be a phenomenal match. It should be an excellent match, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And as for your winner, I think that Johnny Impact and Taya Valkyrie will go off into the sunset with the Impact World Championship. Johnny Impact will pick up the dub here. It's looking like there will be no interference, no BS finish. I love that. It's the biggest show of the year. I don't want to see it end with the BS finish. So I want it straight down the middle, man to man, like they said in the interview, and I want a clean finish. So Johnny Impact will pick up the victory here. I'm very much looking forward to that match. It has been built really well, and it is going to be a phenomenal match. Two phenomenal workers, and it will be great. Johnny Impact picks up the victory, picks up the World Championship, and I have no problems with it because they didn't put the World Championship on him when he initially got there. I was worried that that would be the case. That did not happen, so I'm very much fine with Johnny Impact winning the title here. So let me know down below. That is the Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory preview. And let me know down below, what are your thoughts on Bound for Glory? What are your thoughts on Impact Wrestling? What's your very favorite match coming up? What are you looking forward to the most? And comments, YouTube. Let me know down below, either on YouTube or on Twitter at OMGCoreyB or at 2SweetPod. I am out.